Are you a person that like to work in a team? Are you more loyal? It's likely that you're a S-wired person. Remember, we're talking about DISC, DISC, and it's a communication tool. As you get better at it, as you learn who you are, you're able to actually adopt to others their style of communication. And the more you can adapt, your communication get better with people. Your relationships will get better and less conflict. So, who are you? Do you know yourself? As we look at this, remember we have some of us are outgoing, some of us are reserved, some of us are more work and task oriented, while some of us are more people oriented. That's okay. Some of us may have two profiles, some may have three profiles, that we are more a DISC or maybe a CS. Some of us are like that, and it's likely all of us have each one of these wiring in ourself, that how we communicate. So there's no box to put anyone in. There's no judgment here to say that, oh, I am a D, so you need to accept me for being bossy, right? Or maybe you might, as you learn about DISC and you understand, oh, I now understand this person. You go back to your workplace or you go back home and you said to now I understand why I don't like you. And so it's not about that you create conflict. Know yourself to grow yourself. The more you know about you and how you prefer to be communicated, you learn also how can you adopt your style to actually communicate with someone else. And the more that you know, better for you. We're talking about the S profile today. And so the S wired people, these some of the research show that the population, they're more S wired people. And these are very team oriented people. I'm sure, when you look in a marriage and you see a marriage last long, likely one of that partner is an S wired person. They don't like conflict. They are very reliable people, right? And they're very loyal. They're really good listeners. The S wired people, you might see many of them become counselors. They're there, they listen, they understand each other, they're very empathetic people. They will go out for you, right? And so they make sure that your needs are taken care of. So you might be the S wired, or you might know others who are more S wired. It's good to have these people also on your team. Remember, they're like the glue that holds everyone together. So you need people like that on your team. If you are not an S wired, how do you learn to adapt to being more S, being more people, right? And so S wired people, they're more, you know, related to relax. It's like if you compare them, they're like the turtles. They believe in slow and steady will win the race. So their rate, yes, they might be very slow paced, but they're very relaxed people. They're not flustered, and you won't see them rushing and fighting to get things done. And again, all the profiles have something, our strengths, our weaknesses, and it's for us to get to learn, how to capitalize on those strengths that you have. And the S have some really great strengths, but also there are some weaknesses. One of the weaknesses of S, because they want to be helpful all the time, they want to be there for people, they don't know how to say no, right? Big problem for them is that they don't know how to say no. Someone asks them to do something, yes. Someone else asks, yes. And after a while, they can get very overwhelmed and they won't say it then, but sometimes it builds up so much and then eventually they have an outburst. This might be you. However, if you're S wired, learn sometimes it's okay to say no. If it's too much, it's okay to say no sometimes. Okay? Don't overwhelm yourself. The S wired persons, they're sometimes they're more, what motivates them is being secured. They must feel that they're secured and appreciated. So how you communicate with the S's, ensure that you are making them feel appreciated, you value them on your team, you value the work that they do, and so ensure that you communicate with them in such a way that they understand, you appreciate them, right? And remember, they are a bit slow, and you need to also give them time to think things through. Don't be harsh on them and shout. You will shut an S down. If you criticize them or so, they will also get shut down. Learn how to communicate with them because they fear is feeling insecure, right? And so if they feel that fear comes over, likely they will withdraw from you. As you learn, you will learn more about S's and each one of the profile. As you learn about you, learn to adopt. So if you are an S and you need to communicate with the D, be very more assertive. Make sure that you're very straightforward and quick to your point. Increase your pace because your tendency will be to go slower. Increase your pace when you're talking to a D. Ensure that you focus more on the facts and not your feelings. S wired persons are more high feelings kind of individuals. When you're communicating with the I, be friendly. Recognize their accomplishments that they've done. Be excited with them on that journey to what they're doing. With an S, appreciate them. So an S to an S, you're communicating, appreciate them. Be friendly, create a friendly atmosphere for them. Collaborate so that you can get things done together. With a C, ensure that you slow your pace a little bit. Make sure that you enter the conversation or enter the door in a sense with logic more than, and not to expect maybe relationship so that your feelings don't get hurt. S, as I said, are very high feelings people and they can get hurt very easily. So make sure that you understand, okay, I'm dealing with a C, more facts, more logics when I'm talking to this person. It's not about relationship and it's not that they don't like you. Okay, that they do like you, maybe they don't know how to show it. C's the one show emotion so easily. So do your homework and make sure you have the facts ready when you're talking to a C2. Okay, expect that they're going to ask you a lot of questions. The question is for them to get clarity. The question is not to make you look bad. Remember, C's are very logical. How do you communicate with them and how you communicate with each of the profile will determine how your communication skills improve and also your relationships. How are those relationships improving? Remember, as in S wants steady, and sometimes because they want things to remain the same, when a change has to happen, maybe in an organization, something has to be different, they would be like, why go and change something that is already working? Because of that kind of mentality, you can also come with a sabotaging kind of mentality to a project or some change that needs to happen. Be mindful of that be open that you want to also hear and learn. Always be open in a sense that things can always improve and get better. Okay, so look back. If you're an S or you're dealing with a lot of S's, how do you adapt to them so that your communication gets better? It's better for you to, yes, there are many free disc reports that you can do or assessments, but it's good also to have the complete assessment, which might be a paid version, so that you get to know more about who you are and how you're coming across to others. You see, when we're in the public, we have a mask, and people, what we put on, that's what they see. But who are you? who are you. True self will come out when you're under pressure, right? Your true self. And so it's good to know where you're at. You got to know yourself to grow yourself. Okay, self awareness, number one priority as a leader, that you know who you are so that you can be able to improve where you might not be so good at. Give me a call, share your takeaway, and share your profile as you get into learn about this. Which one are you more wired? Again, you might be highly two top of this, might be two or three of it, you might be more wired to be. Understand who you are, grow as someone, and keep learning. Enjoy.